This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
So, I wrote this company and I asked, hey, can I get a review copy? You know, it's kind of like a coupon for me. You know, if I can get a break anywhere and bring extra stuff in to show things off to you, it makes me happy. Well, they told me, hey, you know, we can't help you out. No big deal, right? So I said, well, you know, maybe I'll just let this one go by. It's not a big deal. It looks like there's a lot to it. So I went up to the Bearded Brown Coat, and of course my boys up there, I had some store credit, and I said, well, you know what, this really looks interesting. I'm gonna give it a go. And I went and I got the deluxe edition of Witcher the Old World, and I got the Legendary Hunt also. I didn't get all the expansions with it, but I wanted to check this out. So we're going to talk about this today. So we're going to go down to the table and we're going to take a look at this, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this very unique game. So let's go down, check it out. Now I'm going to do the best I can to just kind of go over this very quickly. I have the deluxe edition, so I have all the miniatures, but normally they'll just you'll have a set of miniatures, but I also have the monster miniatures, and as you can see, you would get a token that would be in the place, but I have these, so that's where they're going to go. You're going to decide where those guys go, and I'm going to show you kind of the solo version. There is a version where you can play Witcher versus Witcher, which is ugly, but as you can see, I would pick this and he would start here, okay, and then that would go right on my werewolf over there. And what you're going to do is, when you play Witcher versus Witcher, you're going to pull these chits. You're going to pull 3 of these, but when you play the solo, you pull 1, 2, and 3, and you advance. And how you win the solo game is every time you defeat a villain, you are going to move up, and then you're going to have to try to get one of these combat level 5, which will give you the final thing, and you're going to try to do it in a number of turns, and you're going to be judged on those turns. Now, as far as the legendary fight, which I have over there, legendary hunt, I don't know if that changes how the solo game goes, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is just unbelievable and a lot of fun. You have a starting hand of cards, okay, and I'm just going to pull some cards out here, and they have different things, and you're going to use them, and you're going to start with these cards in your hands. As you can see, there's a little thing here that has a mountain on it. That means he can move to a mountain area, but I would have to discount this card, okay, and then move here, okay, and then I would be able to do other things, okay, as long as I had cards in my hands to do it, okay. If I wanted to move again, or if I didn't have any of that, if I didn't have a mountain there to move, and say I wanted to go to the forest from here, I could either discard 2 cards, or I can discard 1 card and 1 coin, and that would help me move. Now, once here, okay, I am going to be able to do a couple things. I could fight, mediate, or explore. Now, if there was a monster there, okay, like if I landed over here where the monster was, I can decide to try to fight him. Yeah, good luck with that, okay? And we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But I can also explore and take one of these cards from here, which will have a story on it, and I would have to pick. I would put my hand over here and read, and then choose between A or B, and sometimes they have a quest number like enter 4. Over here, there's a bunch of cards, 56 of them. You keep those in order. You do not mess those up, and I would pull out the story card number 4. You are constantly going to be deck building here, okay? And you're going to have cards that cost 0, or you would have to discount a certain number of cards to get something like this. Now, this would be great because you can cause combos with this, okay? See the purple and the yellow there? You can start a combo. You would do 2 blue, and then if you had a purple that matched up with it, it'd be 1, 2, 3 plus whatever, okay? Say you had a purple card, and let's see if we could pull up a purple card somewhere here. And of course, you know, when we need one, we can never pull it. Here we go. So we can combo that because that little mark right over there. We can combo that, and now it would go 1, 2, 3, 4 that we would be able to do when we were fighting somebody. We do 4 damage. Now, how do we do damage? Okay, let's take a look at the werewolf, for instance, okay? And we're going to come down here. And I'm sorry for the shaky camera, but we have to do it this way because this board is just so big. Okay, so if we wanted to fight him, he has 14. He's going to have 14 of these cards, okay? And when he attacks us, he's going to turn over and we're going to roll a dice. 1, 2, 3, he would do one thing. 4, 5, 6, he would do another ability. Now these are all bite marks that he would do. We would lose our deck because our deck is our life. We put all our deck together, and every time we take a hit, we start discarding. Once we have no cards in our hands and no cards to draw from, and they're all discarded, well, we would die. And the same thing with him. We're trying to do hits and discard cards from him in order for him to die. So combat is really simple, but it is not as easy as you think. You have to put these combos together, but when you use those combos, you're going to discard cards, which means you're going to have to draw from your life deck, and you got to make sure that you make smart moves to take down the enemy before he takes you down, okay, and a bunch of pegs. Which brings us to, well, guess what? How many cards you're going to be able to draw and stuff like that. You are going to be able to absorb some of those hits that you're going to take because depending on your shields. And you're going to be leveling up your Witcher as you travel and traverse through all these areas. Like you can get potions. You can come here and spend gold to raise your abilities. You know, these abilities here, you have combat, defense, alchemy, and armor, and then you have a special ability. You're allowed to carry up to 4 potions at a time. You're going to be trying to level up more so you can draw more cards, because the more cards you build your deck, the stronger you're going to be, and the more cards you could play, the more combos you can play. Okay, so you're going to constantly be getting stronger as you go. You're going to go through and try to get all these trophies and win. It's not as easy as it sounds, but this is a lot of fun, and I just have to tell you, I'm going to go up top. I'm going to talk all about this and how this wonderful little deck building adventure really just is just it's a lot of fun, and it is a great IP. They have done a fantastic job for it. One last thing I want to talk about here is you can also gamble here too. So you're going to have some dice chucking, and you're going to be trying to get gold, because gold is really going to help you raise these abilities up very quickly. The models are beautiful if you get the legendary edition. Even if you just get the regular edition, you're not missing anything. The tokens work fine. It's the story, it's the depth, and all the wonderful things that go with this that make it what it is. And The Witcher is a very special game. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts.